Can a children's book carry weight beyond its pages? Today, you're going to meet Karissa Mironas. She's an actor, an educator, a storyteller who turns simple moments into meaningful narratives. We're going to dig into her journey, her creative choices, and how she weaves personal loss into hope-filled stories. So get ready for a raw, revealing stories you never heard before. Only on Books with Bridgetti. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Introducing Books with Bridgetti, a lineup of industry experts, award-winning authors and talented indie authors. Buckle up for an unparalleled journey with us. Meet exceptional authors celebrated globally for their captivating narratives. Our authors craft imaginative stories that stay etched in your mind long after the final page. It's not just stories, it's lingering experiences that stay etched in your mind. Our authors share the inspirations that create mesmerizing page-turning stories. Journeys that embody resilience, that turn setbacks into stepping stones, rejections that spark growth, and hurdles that become a catalyst for creativity. From dramas, mysteries, fantasies, children's stories to reality stories, join us as we delve into the inspiration behind the story, discover how authors breathe life into characters, and meticulously craft plots that keep you turning the page. But wait, there's more. We share stories from indie authors as well as Amazon and New York Times best-selling authors. Get ready for an interview that'll have you on the edge of your seat. Stay tuned. Join us, only on Books with Bridgetti.
If you've just joined us, then welcome to Books with Bridgetti. The stream is made possible by StreamYard and Be Live Media. I am so looking forward to talking to my amazing guest. Karissa Mironas is a storyteller, an actor, and an arts educator. She graduated magna cum laude with degrees in theatre and in English, plus a dance minor. Her children's books, Reveal of the Royal Puppy and Refining of the Royal Puppy, stem from her deep love for her pet, Chai Rose. She teaches voice, dance, and acting, and she's very passionate about guiding creative voices of all ages. Karissa lives in Tennessee in the United States, and I'm in Cape Town in South Africa. So without any further ado, let me welcome my amazing guest. Hi, Karissa. Welcome to the show. I am absolutely delighted to have you. I hope you're well.
Thank you so much for having me back. It's so good to see you.
Likewise, it's been a while, and I am absolutely delighted to be talking to you again. I'm going to jump right in because the time goes by so quickly, and I want to kick off with asking you what inspired you to write Reveal of the Royal Puppy, and how did Chai Rose influence the development of the story?
Yeah, Chai Rose, I have a picture of her right here. She was my little Morkie, and was such a big part of my life through 2020 and on. I had moved back from New York and was just in a season where I was needing to figure out what I was going to do with my life. As you know, Bridgetti, COVID had hit and New York had shut down completely. So I was back home and trying to figure out what to do. And I had this phrase put on my heart that was tell stories of redemption to inspire lives. And with that, I was inspired to write this children's book. And Chai Rose really was a sweet, sweet furry companion to me. all of those years and made life fun and exciting. And she loved kids so much. And I remember us going on book tours with this book, and I actually have a little picture of it so you can see. But she was amazing at connecting with children, and that just carried over into writing her story, a story of a puppy who is lost in a world and finds her best friend, Princess Charlotte, and they go through life together and learn important lessons all along the way.
Oh my goodness, that is so amazing. Now, in the book, um, Princess Charlotte and Rose form a really special bond with each other. How did your real life relationship with Rose shape the connection that they shared in the story?
I think it's what built it. I had such a sweet puppy, and she did everything with me. She would go to stores with me. She would travel with me. She probably had more air miles than a lot of humans do. And she really was always, she was attached at my hip. So um, that definitely inspired writing the relationship between Princess Charlotte and Rose in the book. And as my life kind of shifted and changed, I was able to write that and to really tie that into the book's journey too.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. And for anyone who would like to pick up a copy of Reveal of the Royal Puppy, the QR code that you see on screen now will take you to Amazon where you can pick up a copy of Reveal of the Royal Puppy. So please go and grab one if you haven't done that yet. Um, was there any specific experience that made you see children's stories in a whole new way? Like,
Mm.
why did you want to write it from the perspective, of a children's story in the first place?
Yeah, I think I have always loved working with, and as an educator, that was a core part of what I did, and I tied in a lot of social emotional learning skills to the writing, and so I really felt like the audience was supposed to be children, and it's not just stories that tell about a princess and a puppy. It's really a story. Yes, it does that, but it also shares these deep themes of gratitude, and talks about topics like divorce and abandonment and all of these things that fortunately a lot of kids go through today. And so this is just a way that I felt like I could connect, and inspire those kids, and whatever they were going through.
I really like that you did that, because I think, sometimes we forget that life happens to children too. And so often we're focused on helping adults cope with difficult situations, but we may not put enough attention on helping children cope with difficult situations. So I really, really like that you did that. Now, as an actor and a performer, how do you infuse elements of performance into your writing process?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that storytelling at its core, whether you're storytelling through acting or you're storytelling through writing, it is to connect with other people, to connect with an audience. And I think that through that, through sharing your craft and through being vulnerable, that's when we're able to really connect with people, is when we are on stage or on camera, we're completely letting it all go and immersed in our character, or in writing, you're bringing these life experiences in, and then you're sharing it with other people through words. I do think that there is a correlation between the two, and storytelling in general is a passion.
I can absolutely see that from the way that you write and just the way that you do things in general. So, it really does shine throughout your life. How have you incorporated elements of fantasy and reality into your writing so that you can engage your young readers?
I think that creating a world like in the book there in Nadell, and in the later book in Refining of the Royal Puppy, they go to the kingdom of chivalry. I think that there are elements of the real world that influence that. Chai Rose in the first book in Reveal of the Royal Puppy, she comes from Albania, which I got the original Chai Rose in Albany, Georgia. So there was that inspiration, a real life place influencing a fictional place. And then Nadell, based on Nashville. And then chivalry really came. My husband is from Chicago, and Prince Charles in the book, he comes from chivalry. So I connected the two in that way for the second book. But it really is just taking real life inspiration and then creating a world that kids want to be a part of. They want to read and immerse themselves in literature that's going to take them and transport them to another place, which I think is what art is, right? Like if you look back at the Great Depression in America, people they would go to movie theaters to escape the real life around them, and I think that's what art does for us. It takes us from our circumstances, from our real life situations, and it transports us to a place of fantasy where things are amazing no matter what circumstances are.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, my next question to you is one of my probably all-time favorite questions to ask all of my authors. Your book is filled with rich illustrations. How closely did you work with your illustrator, Justin Stewart, to ensure that the visuals matched your vision? Not just the visuals throughout the book, but also the cover. Now, to me, that's almost a magical moment when, because you envision something in your mind, and somehow you've got to find a way of getting that idea into the mind of your illustrator. What did that look like for you?
Yes. So thankfully, Justin, his illustrations are beautiful. If you get either one of the books, you will see. And I've gotten so much feedback that the illustrations are, they make the story. And I think that's with any children's book or any book that has illustrations. The illustrations really bring it to life. And we did. I think I came in with a lot of ideas and a lot of things that I wanted. Again, all inspired from real life. So a lot of the characters, like Princess Charlotte, is modeled after my niece and her facial shape. And then I took Prince Charles. He is modeled after my nephew, facial shape wise. And then I was like, okay, well, I also want blue eyes because my husband has blue eyes and I love his blue eyes. And I said, but I want brown hair because that's what my husband is. So all of these elements are influenced by real life, but Justin was so good about hearing my thoughts, hearing my wants and my vision for the world of Nadell and the world of chivalry, and who I wanted Princess Charlotte to be and Prince Charles to be and Queen Sharon and all of these characters that make up the story. He was so open to hearing my desire for them. And it is collaboration. So you're working together to create this story that will hopefully bring joy to children.
Absolutely. And I think the two of you absolutely nailed it. The books are just gorgeous.
Thank you.
But staying with that, and on the practical side, could you walk me through a scene or a page in the books that you had to revise multiple times? Can you tell me what changed and why? Because I think it's important to share that for somebody who wants to get into writing to understand that it's a process. It's not a one and done.
Yeah, I think I can take you through between 1 and book 2. If you can, I don't know how close I can get to let you see this, but when you have the same characters in each of the books and you want continuity between book 1 and book 2, in this
Yeah.
case, the Adventures of Chirose series, like it does follow Princess Charlotte and Chirose the whole time. So it is important that they look just like they did in book 1. But what I loved with sharing with Justin that was the heart of it. What I loved was that we aged Princess Charlotte and Chirose a little bit in this. So I don't know how you can see it, but she is a little bit older in that book, and so it was fun to play around with. Okay, this is her age in Reveal of the Royal Puppy, and now we're going to look at her age in Refining of the Royal Puppy. And just like Chirose's character arc kind of goes through changes in both books, so does Princess Charlotte.
I like that. It's important because, I mean, children grow up, they don't remain babies.
Right.
So I think that's something that children will pick up on as well. This is the baby version and this is the toddler version, if you wish, um, of the two, and but still keep the characters so they're recognizable throughout the series. Just staying with you being an author for a moment, what challenges did you face? Because let's keep it real. What challenges did you face as a young author and how did you overcome it?
Hmm. I think that anything in life, your age can sometimes be a negative. When I first released this book, you know, not everybody is going to look at a younger author as having the wisdom or the street cred, if you would, of an older, more established author. So I think anytime that you're starting in a new realm, whether that's acting or writing, you have to put yourself out there and you have to have confidence that the story that you're wanting to tell has meaning. And if you're called to tell a story, it's your duty to tell it and to share it with your audience. So I definitely think it was just some overcoming of my own doubts or insecurities, and then with overcoming that, you see how much good comes out of it, and how kids can be inspired through that as well.
Now, the next question, I'm not quite sure. You'll have to just correct me here with the timing a little bit. How has the experience of losing Chiro's influence the release of the sequel?
Yeah, so we released Refining of the Royal Puppy the week before Chirose passed away, and sorry, um,
It was
she
a very difficult time
it was,
for you, understandably so, because you had a beyond special relationship with her. That was very, very obvious.
yes, she is such a special little doggy, and I think that at first it was hard because I was like, I don't want to do this launch right now. I'm mourning her. I'm going through this loss and experiencing it. in ways that, grief isn't the same for everybody. It's not linear. And so there were days when I was fine, and then there were days when I was not. And thankfully I had such a strong support system around me. But I think it was just that encouragement that Chai Rose, she did inspire so many children. We went on so many school tours, and every classroom she would go into, the kids would light up because she was just such a joy. So I think having that and knowing that, it's like, Karissa, you can't stop. You can't, like, you have to keep this book going. So the momentum of having that was really important. So I took a couple of weeks off from the launch, and then I came back, and I was like, this is in Chai Rose's memory. And I know that it's important to get these stories out, because just like Chai Rose inspired my life, she inspired others.
That is absolutely so beautiful. Can you share with us a moment, with on your book tours, reading to children, a moment where you felt that your story through the eyes of Chai Rose just really resonated with the audience?
Yeah, I think you could see that all in the kids' faces. I would be at schools, and this was a few years ago. When we would tour, I would just dress Chai Rose up in her little pink dresses and her bows, and we would go into the classrooms or go into an auditorium, and it was the smile in the kids' faces, that they would see her and they would be like, puppy. And then I would start reading the book, and then it goes into a deeper level of they are seeing themselves in the characters. They are seeing themselves in the circumstances of the lives. Unfortunately, we live in a world where divorce is so prevalent, and so many kids are children of divorce, and that's a part of my story. And I think I spoke to many kids who that was a part of their story, unfortunately. And through that, just seeing how encouraged they were by almost an emotional support animal, she really was so special. And it was an honor to see her bring joy to kids.
So with both the books, so for anyone watching right now, if you're seeing the screen, I've changed the QR code from reveal of the puppy to reveal of the royal puppy to refining the royal puppy. So you can get both books are available on Amazon right now. What is the message that you wanted the children to take home from reveal of the royal puppy as opposed to refining the royal puppy? Is the message still the same, or is there a different takeaway in the second book?
There is a different takeaway. So book one, really the core of it is having a grateful heart, and how gratitude can influence our lives in a positive way. And with book two, it's all about obedience. And my great grandmother, her name was Granny Lucy. She would always tell my mom, pretty is as pretty does. And so growing up, I always heard that pretty is as pretty does. And in the book, I take it a step further, and I say pretty is as pretty does, and handsome is as handsome does. So it really is an encouragement that it's not how you look on the outside that matters. It is on the inside, and how you treat people, how you love others well. And so there are different core values and themes in each of the books.
I really like that. Thank you for sharing that. That's pretty special. How do you, moving forward, how do you, or how would you balance your creative pursuits with your advocacy for arts education, or are they tied together?
I definitely think that they're tied together. I feel like they're both both storytelling. I also have a podcast and a newsletter that comes out bi-weekly, and in all of those things, whether it's with writing, acting, podcasting, or writing in the newsletter, like it's always about encouraging other people and inspiring lives. And I definitely think that the arts and the world that we live in, the entertainment industry is so prevalent, and we are constantly exposed to content, whether that's on our phones or on our TV. And so making sure that we're churning out content that is going to be encouraging, inspiring, family centered, and really just sharing good core values with children. I think that there is a connection there between the arts and with storytelling and writing as well.
Karissa, you've built what I would call a heart-centered following on your social media platforms. How do you use your abilities to inspire others and advocate for young creatives?
I think that a lot of that comes from just my heart. Like that is my heart, to inspire and to encourage. And I think that, with social media, we were just talking about this earlier, Bridgetti, how it's all at our fingertips. Like we're doing a show from, you're in South Africa, I'm in Tennessee, and we're able to connect because of technology. And so I think leveraging social media in a way that is positive, especially with younger generations, that's super important. So that's my goal. That's my heart. I just want to encourage people and inspire people through the content that I put out, and that's the goal.
How do you envision your future with children's literature? Is this a path that you are passionate enough to stay with, or do you envision veering away at some point?
I love writing children. It's so fun for me. And so I definitely think that the Adventure of Chiro series will continue. And it definitely still has many stories to tell with Princess Charlotte and Chiros and all of their adventures. But I'm not limited to children's books. Like I would love to write other things, and especially in the faith-based world. I am open. I'm open to sharing whatever I feel like the Lord is putting on my heart.
Oh, that's amazing. So I've got a special request here from someone on Amazon. I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman. Millie Twynham says, can I please make a comment about how much he loves the meaning of your books? I think that's really sweet.
Thank
That's
you. That is very kind.
Yeah, I thought so too, and that's why I wanted to share that out loud.
That's why we do it.
Karissa, what advice, you talked earlier about some of the challenges that you had being a young author. So, and I saw something last night. I thought that's very interesting. Sometimes we don't feel that we are enough to pass on advice to others. But this person was saying, even if you know one thing more than somebody else, even if you're just one step ahead of someone else, then that poises you to be able to share something. Because we don't really look at ourselves 10 years from now. Nobody cares about what's happening 10 years from now. But what I'm going to do tomorrow, if somebody can tell me what to do tomorrow, the next step, I'm going to be listening. So what would you tell someone who's still thinking of starting this process?
I had a mentor once who told me that we may not be able to see the whole picture of life and in one big puzzle at at one time, but you have one puzzle piece after another. And then as you're creating it, you can look back later and see how it's all weaving together and creating, like each moment is creating a part of your story and the grand scheme of your story arc. And so I hold on to that in my own life too. But I think the biggest piece of encouragement that I can give is to say, like, if you feel like you are supposed to tell a story and something is on your heart, then it is your job to share that with the world. I think so many times in life we limit ourselves to, I'll do that later. I'm too busy right now. Life is happening. But the truth is, like, we will always have those moments where we feel too busy, we feel overwhelmed, we feel like we don't have the capacity to do something in the moment. We will always have that excuse. So I think we have to get out of that mindset and really look ahead and say, this story is worth telling, and I'm the one that has been called to share it.
Absolutely. Now, you did so much with Reveal of the Royal Puppy. Are you planning the same things, similar things, or something different for Refining of the Royal Puppy? Or, can people look forward to seeing you more, seeing you at schools, sharing with children in person?
That is the hope. And I now have Chirose's little sister. Her name is Ephesia Daisy. We call her Effie. And so I definitely foresee her taking time to do some school visits and book events, and that would be amazing.
Fantastic. Now, you also briefly mentioned a podcast and a newsletter. Do you want to just briefly tell us about that as well? Because I think all of what you do kind of ties into your mission. I see a lot of synchronicity. So do you want to just briefly tell us about that?
Sure. Thank you. I would love that. So Hang On Sis is the title of my podcast, and I started it to tell stories of redemption to inspire lives. So I bring people on my podcast and hear their stories that can inspire others. It is geared toward women, and so the whole core is, no matter what season of life you're in, hang on, sis, because it will get better, and everything that you go through has a purpose, and even the bad, we have hope that it will turn to good.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now you mentioned hope, and I'm going to stay with that word hope for just a second. What do you hope children and families will take away from the stories that you share?
I think in both of these books and with future The Adventures of Chirose series books that are in the works, it's core values that we want to instill in our children. We're expecting our first baby in April, and as I'm preparing, I know thanks. I know that we have certain values that we want to instill into our children, and so just creating content that is encouraging of that, can uplift children and their families. And yes, I talk about some heavy issues, grief, divorce, abandonment, all of these things in these stories, but you really do see that there is hope, and just like in real life, there's always hope, and that's the message that I want to share.
I think that's beautiful because life happens to all of us, and sometimes it happens in bigger measures than we'd like it to happen. But hope, if there's hope, it
Yes.
means absolutely everything. It influences how we look at life. If we can look at life through eyes with hope. Chris, if you had one question that would force you into creative growth, what would it be, and how would you try and answer it?
One question. Let's see. I think it would be the core of what story do you feel like you're supposed to share? And I think that's the drive behind all of my creative pursuits, is what's the story? And I think we all have a story to tell. We all have life experiences to write about, to talk about, and we never know when those are going to change somebody else's life. So I definitely think that is the question that keeps my creative wheels spinning. What is the core story that you want to tell?
I love that. I love that. Please won't you hold up the books one at a time again, because they are just so, 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 so gorgeous. I want people to see how beautiful these books are. Um, and then, let me just put up that Can you hold it for another second? Because
Sure.
I've switched the QR code. So that is the QR code. Then you can grab a copy of Reveal of the Royal Puppy. Those colors just pop. It's so, so gorgeous. It's really, really lovely. Illustrations, shout out to Justin for doing such a great job. It's absolutely beautiful. He
You
did
did
a sterling job with those illustrations. They're gorgeous, gorgeous. And then Refining of the Royal Puppy, and I'm going to switch the QR code so you can grab a copy of that one. There's a lot on that cover. Tell us a little bit about that scene on the cover.
Yeah, so we tied in, of course, we kept Princess Charlotte and Chai Rose, but the element of this story, it does introduce another character named Prince Charles, which was inspired by my husband. But so we meet Prince Charles, and we also meet a peacock friend who has a very cute scene later in the book. But it is an introduction of some more characters, and then we see this. If you look at the first one and this one, we are in a different, we're going to chivalry for a certain big event. So when you get the book, you will know what that is. But it was such a fun scene to create, and Justin did a great job of that.
He absolutely did. It's just so, so gorgeous throughout. It's a great book to have. So if you're watching this, please go and grab a copy of the book on Amazon. It's available in both Kindle um, and hard copy as well. So please go and grab yourself a copy of those books. Anything you want to leave our audience with? How can they connect with you, Karissa?
Yes. So I think the easiest way to connect with me is through my Instagram page. It's Karissa Mironas, spelled just like Bridgetti has up here. So you can follow me at Karissa Mironas on Instagram, and also via my website. If anyone wants to sign up for my newsletter, there's a direct link on my website, which is karissamironas.com.
Fantastic. Karissa, this was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Just hold up to the books one more time. They are just so, so gorgeous. And I want to thank you so much for sharing with us and spending some time with us today. And I really wish you well with sharing Refining of the Royal Puppy with children at school. And I know that they're going to enjoy it just as much as Reveal of the Royal Puppy, because the books are just absolutely wonderful. So yeah, I'd love to have you back again sometime to tell us some more. What's next? What's next for you? I know you've just released Refining of the Royal Puppy, but do you have any plans moving forward that people can look forward to?
Yeah, so this is definitely a series that will continue, and also I'm churning out faith-based content via my newsletter. So that's coming out bi-weekly. If any of you want to follow that on there. I also forgot, Bridgetti, but there is a Facebook group for parents and just a place where they can be encouraged on their parenting walk. It's The Adventures of Chai Rose. It's on Facebook, so that group is available to join, and I post book content there as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I want to thank our amazing audience today. If you enjoyed today's conversation with Karissa, please go and buy a copy of Reveal of the Royal Puppy and Refining of the Royal Puppy. They're both available on Amazon. And with that, please join us next time again on Books with Bridgetti with another author who reveals more than you expect. So thank you, everyone. This was absolutely amazing.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us on Books with Bridgetti. Join us next time for industry experts and award-winning authors.
I think this might be, I've been on over 24 different podcasts and radio shows in the last couple of months. And this has to be one of the most sophisticated, what the kids like to keep called bomb.com shows and presentations that I've ever been on. It's fantastic. Thank you for having me here.
Available wherever great books are sold near you.
Thank you, Bridgetti.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
That was so fun. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Books with Bridgetti. Join us next time for industry experts and award-winning authors.
I think this might be, I've been on over 24 different podcasts and radio shows in the last couple of months. And this has to be one of the most sophisticated, what the kids like to keep called bomb.com shows and presentations that I've ever been on. It's fantastic. Thank you for having me here.
Available wherever great books are sold near you.